Cruella. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In this video we are going to be reviewing Cruella, which just got released on both Disney Plus and in the cinemas. Yes, that's right, theatres are open and Cruella is one of the first few movies to be available to watch, and this is a live action origin slash prequel movie that explores how the Cruella character became the Cruella villain. Now this is the third live action movie adaptation within this franchise. Obviously we had two of the movies in the 90s with Glenn Close playing the titular character, and this time she's actually an executive producer in this film, which is really cool. And like I said, it's a really enjoyable movie. It's got brilliant character arcs from how they are in the beginning of the film to how they transform to where they are at the end of the film. Is really dazzling from a visuals point of view, really cool twists and turns, and it just sets up a new world really well, no pun intended, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, we actually see that this character goes through quite a lot of tragedies throughout her life, which is then leading her to becoming the infamous Cruella character. So at first we see the Estella character, which is what this character used to be called, always has had a bit of a mean streak in her, which leads to her leaving school and ultimately leads to her becoming a bit of a widow character as well. She then joins up with fellow thieves Jasper and Horace and goes on a couple of adventures with them, and then ultimately leads to her having a fashion job with the evil Baroness character. And then, like I said, you get to see a lot of what happens to this character leading into her becoming the Cruella character. Now from a positive point of view, like I said, this character journey is absolutely outstanding. She's a really complex anti-hero character, and you get to see all of the tragedies in a lot of detail from this character's first-person narrative. Also, it's a pretty fast-paced movie, so it doesn't linger in any of the scenes. It actually goes through them really rapidly, which definitely keeps your attention throughout. And also the 1970s setting of London looks really cool, and all of the set pieces are very grand and grandiose in nature, which is really cool. However, from a negative point of view, I guess you could say that some of the scenes are purely there to set up the next installment. But that being said, Cruella is able to stand on its own 2 feet within its own space as well. So from a cast and characters point of view, they actually have a wicked cast in Cruella, and they all do such a good job in terms of playing all of the different characters. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Emma Stone playing both the Estella side of this character and the Cruella side of this character. And I just think she's a really great performance in terms of playing a really edgy character. She's not a bit of a damsel in distress. She's actually a really complex character, and I really like how they transform her from being a rebellious character that is constantly being pushed down and abused by quite a lot of people to being transformed into a very calculating and very clever villain that we all know and love from the Cruella point of view. She also has a killer accent. Emma Stone does such a good job in terms of bringing this character to life, and she also does a brilliant job in terms of being the narrator in this movie, so quite literally holds it all together. Next up we have another Emma Thompson, who is playing the Baroness character, and she is a classic Disney villain in terms of being truly evil through and through, and she actually does some pretty barbaric stuff in this movie. But also I really like the fact that they were really showing it from a career point of view and just showing how ruthless, very career determined, career dominating and narcissistic this person is. So she is very evil, but also you get to see the layers underneath that as well. Next up we have Joel Fry, who is the co-thief playing the Jasper character. He is the partner in crime to the Estella character and to the Horace character. But I really like the fact that this character was actually the one that got Estella the job at Liberty, which is where she was dreaming of working. In terms of working for a top fashion brand, this character was also the heart for the Estella character, trying to bring her back to humanity. So I just feel like this character is so much more than just the henchman that he was depicted as in the previous 2 installments. Next up we have Marc Strong, who is playing John, a new character within this iteration of the film, and he is the loyal accomplice to the Baroness character, and as such knows all of her dark secrets, so it really does show you should be careful about who you place your trust in. And then finally we have Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who is playing the Anita character, the best friend to Estella slash Cruella, and is also a reporter in this movie, and I'm sure she'll play a much bigger part in the future installments. But all in all, from a cast and characters point of view, they're pretty awesome in Cruella. So from a visuals point of view, Cruella is very dazzling and very stylish, and from a fashion point of view, they show the contrast between old Hollywood fashion, which is what the Baroness character is leading on, and then the modern punk fashion style which is what Cruella is bringing. They also have some really cool big grand galas in this movie as well, in really nice locations which you really want to go visit yourself. And also from a black and white point of view, I really do feel like they use that aspect, which is what Cruella is mostly iconic for, really, really well. So from a visuals point of view, this movie actually looks pretty awesome. So from a comparison point of view, as they really do examine the anti-hero and the villain in this movie, I think you can definitely compare it to Maleficent, to Joker, and to Venom as well, as you really do understand all of the hardships and the tragedies that these characters unfortunately go through, which leads them into becoming the more infamous and iconic villains that we know them for. I think you can also compare this movie to The Devil Wears Prada, as it is very similar from a fashion point of view, in terms of having a very horrible boss at the top of the company. So from a comparison point of view, there's actually quite a lot of movies that you can compare Cruella to. So overall, I have to say, I really enjoyed the Cruella movie. I think it's really interesting that they took a new perspective on this tale and they really explored how the Cruella character became the infamous character. The Dalmatians and the dogs, etc. are still there. They're just less of a focus, and it centers a lot more on the human characters. I'm sure the Dalmatians will really come into their own in the inevitable sequel. But as far as this movie goes, I think it's really great. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.